All right, welcome everyone to episode 12 of the Phuckit podcast, where we're trying to show people if you change your mind, you can change your life. I'm Frank McGovern, your host, and I have a guest with me today who I met, recently through a mutual coach, Mario Dragustinovis. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that too much.
10 points, bro.
But we actually met somewhat in Wes Watson's group that we're a part of, and have heard some of Mario's story. And, just to me, it was an amazing story. A lot of ups and downs and trials and tribulations in life. And, Mario was recently able to get off of a drug problem that he had. And, now seems to really be living his best life and have found his purpose in life. So, Mario, greatly appreciate you hopping on with me. And, just please, tell us more about your story, share that with our audience.
Well, thanks for having me, bro. So I've struggled my whole life. I grew up in a very poor household, single mother. My father denied me before I was even born. So the only real father figure or male figure I had in the home was my brother. So my brother, at a young age, got hooked on dope, and he kind of grew up with a rough lifestyle. Right? He got into drinking, got into crack at an early age, and then I was born when he was 11. Right? So for his whole teenage life, he was into gangs, drinking, and all the negative shit that life throws at you in a poor neighborhood. So as I was growing up and watching him, I'm sorry, bro. I keep hearing my echo, and it's throwing me off.
Yeah, no, all good. You can keep. It's not really hearing it too much on my end.
Yeah, it's just I can't stand hearing myself. So yeah, I grew up in a household that was just always. I didn't have anybody around.
Yeah.
Right. So my brother was out in the streets. The time when I would see him, he was always hungover. He would try to hide the drugs and shit from me when I was younger. But as I got older, he started giving less of a shit.
Yeah.
Right. So he had 3 kids at an early age. By the time he was 22, he had 3 kids. And still on dope. And I would see him holding my niece in his lap, smoking dope, right? Smoking crack. And I'd always look up to my brother and be like, man, I want to be like him. So that smell of alcohol, all that shit, I wanted it in my life, right? Growing up. So I started drinking at 13. He wasn't my only influence. I had, cousins that were in the same lifestyle. They were hooked on drugs, in and out of jail, all that shit. So I was pretty much destined for failure at an early age.
And where'd you grow up, Mario?
Brownsville, Texas.
Okay.
Down south, right by the border.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I grew up drinking, right? Got into dope, started smoking crack. Did weed, all that shit, fucking hit meth, all kinds of shit. I never had anybody around me to kind of tell me otherwise, like, hey, man, you shouldn't be doing that, whatever. And so I just roll with it. I got all the relationships I was building in the neighborhood were doing the same thing. So for a very long time in my life, that's what I did. And I did it hard. I'd freaking smoke crack till I fucking almost OD, passed out. But I was in and out a lot. I was in and out of jail a lot of times, and in jail is when I would meet some people that would try to give me some guidance. Right? They're like, "Hey, bro, I'm getting in here, and I'm not getting out. I'm going in 10 years, 15 years, life, whatever. and I kind of saw where my life was headed. So at the age of 17 was the first time that I did 2 months in jail, right? I got out and I was like, man, I need to move. I need to get out of this town because in Brownsville, Texas, all there is to do is party. You snort coke, you smoke crack, you drink. That's it. So I decided to move the next town over, and I did pretty good. I got my GD, and that was about it. I started making other relationships in the area, and I fell back to the same freaking.
Yep. You were hanging with the same people, led back to you doing the
To the
same
same
shit.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I fell back to the same shit. Started smoking dope, drinking, doing all that shit. Um, Went back to jail multiple times. Um, and then at the age of 19, I had my first son. Um, it got better for a while. So the person that I had my son with, she was I knew her for about 2 weeks.
Wow.
I got the bitch pregnant. Probably shouldn't call her bitch, but bro, she's wild. Um, so I met her at her bar. We hung out for a while, for a couple weeks. Ended up getting her pregnant, and I was like, okay, I can either stick around or I just fucking fuck this kid and I'll figure shit out, and I'll just have somebody out there and he'll kind of figure it out himself like I did. And I told myself, like, man, I grew up without a dad. I knew how it was. It was rough. I have to change my life around. And this kid has to know who I am, and I have to raise him the right way. Complete opposite from who I was. So I stuck around with her for about 3 years. Separated. I got arrested a couple of times within those 3 years. I got a DV while I was with her, and that was pretty much the last time that I was with her. We separated, and I moved here to Florida. So I moved here to Florida, and I was still fucking up.
So this was around like when you were 22-ish then?
Yeah. So I moved here when I was 24.
24, okay.
Yeah. So at 24, I moved here. You know, I started working with a cousin of mine. He has an AC business here, and I did better for a while. But again, you know, got into the dope, got into the drinking, the girls, all that shit. And then I was here for about a year. And then I met my wife. So when I met her, everything kind of changed. You know, like I was hopping around from different women, and I stuck with her. So we were together roughly 6 years. We never separated, always together. You know, still doing dope. First night I met her, we fucking probably don't always say this, but we did an 8 ball of coke together. So we were both broken.
Yeah.
Right. So she introduced me to her family, and it was like a different lifestyle. They had actual traditions. They did together. They did things together as a family, and I just thought it was beautiful, you know. And they welcomed me with open arms. And her dad's a business owner. Well, she has her father and her stepfather, and they're both successful business owners, right? And watching them, that motivated me. I was like, man, I got to do better.
Yeah.
So, you know, life was still a yo-yo. I would get into drinking, drugs, and I would do good for a good 2-3 months, but I was still on the drink, right? The dope was gone for the most part, but I would fall back on the drink. And so I would yo-yo let's say every quarter. I joined the fire department for a while. And whenever I did that, my plan was to get my contractor's license and open my business. Right. Since AC is what I know, is the trade I've been in for about 12 years. So in the fire department, you have a very flexible schedule. You work 24 and you're off for 48. So I was like, all right, it'd be perfect. I'll have my security with my benefits, my pension, my weekly check, and then I can start my business on the side and bank off of that. So I got my contractor's license here, opened my business, and it was going good. And at this time, I was pretty sober. But there came a time in the fire department where I had to make a decision. So do I want to keep running my business and quit the fire department, or vice versa? So the fire department I love. I felt like I had found my purpose at that time. I was helping people. I was doing well. I was off dope. I wasn't drinking. I had my structure, right? It's kind of like the fire service is a paramilitary service, right? So the structure was amazing, but it was getting in the way of my business. So I had to go to school for another year to get my paramedic license. So at that point, I was like, okay, I can go back to school, get this license to make less money, or go, head on to my business and just blow it out the water. So it took me about 6 months. And I told myself, you know what? You got to risk it for the biscuit. So I hit the business head on. And first year I did 114,000 part-time.
And what year was this?
This was 2021.
Okay.
Yep, 2021. And so business did well. Then the second year was the first year full-time, right? Second year I doubled. And now we're on the third year. I should be we should be at over 600,000 for this year.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. But at the start, when I quit the fire department, the business was going well. I had my structure, but then when I quit, it all went away. So I was like, okay, I'm self-employed now. Summertime is our busiest time. So that kept me busy. But wintertime, when it slowed down, I was sitting around twiddling my thumbs.
Yeah.
So I'd hit the gym, I'd do my thing. Then in the afternoons, I'd get bored. So I'd hit the bar. Started hitting the bar. Started meeting people with money. People that were millionaires just hanging out at the bar, drinking like crazy. So I started getting into those circles. They had dope. So it started going back to that pattern again.
Yeah, anytime you go back to the drinking, it eventually would lead to the dope.
Oh, bro, every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would hit, 10 o'clock, I'd have a buzz. I was like, gotta call dope, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was getting the shit for free at one point. So started hitting that hard. Started having troubles in my marriage. It got to the point where my wife was like, she wanted a divorce. I was never home.
Yeah.
I'd be hitting the bottle. I'd come home. She wanted me to do whatever. And I was like, I'd make up an excuse or an argument just to leave. So I'd leave. I'd go meet up with these people. We'd party hard, and shit, sometimes I wouldn't even make it home. So it got to one night where it got pretty bad. My ex was actually here. So that's another story. But I had my ex living with us here for about a year.
Oh, that is a story.
That's a story, yeah. So she lived with us while she was getting her shit together. We were just helping her out, right? And it wasn't my idea; it was my wife's idea.
That's a hell of a woman right there, then, because a lot of people ain't doing that.
Yeah, no. Anybody I tell this story to, they're like, "Holy shit, she's an angel."
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, she's amazing. So, long story short, my ex moved from Texas to Miami. when she was in Miami, she got in a shit relationship with this guy that was beating her, you know, a loser. She called me one day and she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be going back to Texas." And she had given me custody of my son at this point.
Okay.
She's like, "At some point, I'll come back. I'll get Mario and figure things out." And I was like, "Yes, perfect. Bye. I got my son. He's safe. He's good." And that's all I wanted, right? And my wife overheard her. My wife was like, "Just tell her to come stay here." And I said, "Fuck that. Bitch is crazy." So my wife pushed it. She moved in. She was here for about a year. We helped her find a house, got her credit straight. And as soon as she moved out, she flipped the script. Started acting like a bitch, right? So one night she came over, we were all drinking, and she started acting stupid. You know, when she was talking about parenting, and when you talk about parenting, it's a sore subject for me, or a sensitive subject for me, because she's a horrible parent.
Yeah.
And I know that's a typical, everybody says that, but this girl likes to party a lot, right? I'll give credit when it's due. And yeah,
just ain't due.
shit.
So
No. So she came over to hang out, supposedly to give us thanks or whatever. And she gave us thanks, all right. So we started an argument, and she calls the cops, bro. Anytime the cops are called, somebody's going to jail. And that was me.
damn.
So I was like, "Just leave, please." She wouldn't. And they ended up locking me up because she told her I was beating her.
Wow.
Yeah. So I go to jail, and again, I was drunk, hungover. I had a day to think about it. I got out the next day, and I was pissed. And I just dug into the dope and drink harder from there. Not giving a shit, right? So my wife said, "I want a divorce." And I said, "I don't give a fuck." I said, "I'm done. I don't give a fuck about any of you motherfuckers. Like, I'm just over it." And I thought I was hot shit. I was making, you know, okay money. Like, I was good. But then I looked at my kids, man, and they couldn't stand me.
Yeah, you were good on the exterior, but not on the interior. The
Man,
more important part.
I was dying. I was looking at pictures of myself then. I was swollen, red, just eyes yellow. Fucking look horrible.
And about how long ago was this?
That was in. So I got on the program in May.
Okay, so earlier, like early this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I was hitting it hard, bro. Every day drinking. You know, it wasn't a couple beers. It was like 10, 12 beers to start it. And then we'll get into shots and everything else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my kids hated me. They didn't want me around. My youngest was just torn apart, man. He's the one that really broke my heart.
Yeah.
You know, I can tell he was full of anxiety and just miserable. At that point, I told myself, something's got to give. Right. So I've been watching Wes for about a year or so. And I had contacted him. And like anything, you're skeptical with shit online.
Yeah.
So I went back and forth. I hit him up once. He hit me back up. And, oh, shit. You there, bro?
Yeah, it's back on.
So I hit him up. And I didn't sign up for like probably another 8 months. And I signed up, bro, and that was it.
Yeah, life-changing.
Life-changing. So that was Mother's Day weekend. I had booked a room for my wife on the beach. And before we left for the beach, like I literally had paid Wes a couple hours before we were supposed to leave. And my wife started pouring drinks. You know what I mean? And I was like, "I'm done. I don't want anything." She's like, "You're not going to drink on Mother's Day?" I said, "No. This is the reason why life's going this way.
Yeah.
I'm fucking done." And for one, I just paid a lot of money for personal development.
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking commit and stick to this shit to a T. So, and that's what I did. So I followed the program. I did everything he told me to do, followed the blueprint, and bro, it's game over from there.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's funny because I have a pretty similar fucking story.
Right.
I linked up with him in July, but like I'm going through a divorce as we speak, like literally a couple weeks prior to linking up with Wes in July. Like my wife said she wanted a divorce. But like just linking up with him at an event, signing up with him, a lot of self-reflection, just being very honest with myself. I honestly feel better at 40 than I've ever fucking felt before in my life. And it's not like I got back in shape. Like I was never like in shape. But I just feel like, he just resonated with me so much. Just, the consistency and discipline and just, I had a real bad drinking problem. Like I didn't drink every day, but like, kind of how when you drank, like the amount, like, yeah, when I drank. Like it wasn't drinking to fucking socially. Like I'm drinking usually to get blackout drunk. I had stopped back in like last December. So I actually almost got a year sober now. But I had like a void, from stopping and not like picking something up because I've been into something since I was like 11 or 12 years old, good or bad. Like I had, was into something. And then, just going through the divorce and then just fucking linking up with Wes, like, man, I just been following like the blueprint he set out and, I feel amazing. So I literally, feel exactly what you're saying.
That's dope, bro. And it's really hard to do, when you're going through all that shit.
Oh yeah, trust me. Like yeah, it was.
It pounds you, man. So as a man, you got so much in your head. You want to provide, you want to be great and set the example, but you get way the fuck down.
Hmm.
And if you're stacking drinking and drugs in your life on top of everything that you're doing, bro, it's like this weight's piling up here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's just pushing you down. The self-doubt, the limiting beliefs, all that shit. And you're broken.
Yeah, like I felt like it would be like a reset for like probably a good 4 years or so, like where I knew I had to stop drinking. My conscience was telling me, and then I like wouldn't stop. And then, probably 2 to 4 times a month, I'm getting blackout drunk. So it's like not even like I'd be physically hungover per se, but it would just fuck me up mentally. It's like, God damn, like, you ain't supposed to be doing this shit. You can't even fucking stop. And it's like holding you back in life and you're not doing anything about it. It like used to fuck with my mental for years.
Yeah. And so yeah, I hit the program and I do it every day like I just started.
Yep.
I don't skip a beat. It's been 6 months. I haven't missed a workout. I don't my morning routine on point every day. And if you stack wins early in the morning, like that's the way the rest of your day is going to flow.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Not only that, with the workout, you get those frustrations out. Like I go fucking hard, bro, until it fucking burns, until I'm dying.
Yeah, my man is like fucking cut up like a bag of dope. Like you for real. Like you got fucking ripped.
So in 2 months, bro, my first transformation was pretty insane. Like 2 months, I got trimmed down. And I would ask Wes, like, yo, bro, I'm losing mass. My legs are getting smaller, blah, blah, blah. He's like, shut the fuck up. Just stick to it.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. So I did lose a little bit of strength, but the clarity was insane.
Yeah.
I was only having like 1,800 calories a day.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like I was a lot more clearer then than I am now.
Mm.
Like now I started stacking a lot more carbs and fats in my diet to bulk some.
Yeah, you're bulking, right?
Yeah, yeah. But the clarity is not as good as when I first started. But I'll have those weeks where I'm like, okay, I've stacked enough weight, then I'll trim back. And that week I'm like, holy shit, this is it. So really, I think when people talk about fasting and how it helps their mental clarity, I've never really fasted, but I feel like if I were to do that, it would get me in a different space.
Yeah, no, they say like especially I think after you can maybe like 48 to 72 hours, but like a certain like hour, once you hit that, like it's like yeah, it's crazy. I just seen a fucking picture. I don't know if you've seen it of Dana White. He fasted for
Yep.
72 hours and Jesus Christ, like it was
Ripped.
insane how much fat like, got shredded off of him in a 3-day period.
Oh, he got cut up,
Yeah.
but he had muscle tone underneath,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and as did I. So a lot of people get astonished with the transformation, but I've been working out my whole life, right? I always knew like I had to put in the work in myself to feel better. I didn't know how deep that was for me.
Hmm.
I would just always tell myself like even when I did some time in jail, I would get anxiety once they would shut the doors and you hear that fucking lockdown. I would start freaking out because I felt like claustrophobic, right? So I would start hitting push-ups till I couldn't breathe. And once I was done, I felt at peace.
Yeah, it's funny because that's like Wes always talks about like the burpees, and like I always tell people, man, if you are stressed, feeling down or anything, do 100 burpees and then tell me how you feel after you're done.
200.
Shit,
Like,
a hundred will do it for me.
bro, I'm fucking retarded, bro. Like, I have to hit it as hard as I can. Like, I had this dude, he was a Bible thumper, right? And nice guy, but he wanted to go get a workout in with me. So we started working out. All right, let's hit burpees. And there was about 5 of us. This one specific guy broke down after like 15. And this guy was swole. And I kept going, bro. And I was like, nah, fuck that shit. Let's go. Keep going. And he's like, what's wrong with you? I said, everything's wrong, bro. I got demons. I'm getting these
Everything and
down.
nothing at the same time.
Yes. And he's like, man, you need God. And I said, bro, you hit these fucking burpees till you can't breathe, and you'll see God. He'll be right there with you.
Oh, that's
And
funny.
it's real shit, bro. So all my clients that I have now, every time they go through something, I'm like, hit the burpees.
Yep.
They call me back, bro. Thank you. They thank me because it's the answer, bro.
Yeah, and somebody says something to me about like, oh, like the problem's not going to go away, but like, no, it's not going to go away. But how you perceive the problem will go away, and that's the problem. Like the problem isn't the problem; your perception of the problem is the problem.
The problem is you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how you're perceiving the situation. I should say. I shouldn't even use the word problem. Like the problem is how you perceive a situation, and after you get them burpees in or some strenuous type of workout, your perception of the situation could change. So yeah, you literally just
Absolutely.
doing that could change, like could fix the problem because your perception is the problem, not the fucking situation.
Yep. So anytime I face something that's like gives me where I start feeling those limiting beliefs, that negative mindset, I just hit it harder than ever, bro. Especially now that I'm at a different level in my fitness. It's like I go that much harder.
Yeah, because
You
like
know?
what Wes talks about it, and like plenty of people do, but it's like I say Wes says the bitch and the beast. Like I say like the light and the dark. There's like light and darkness in us all. Like that darkness, it's like if you kind of let that control you, shit can spiral out of control in a negative way. But it's like if you can kind of catch them like negative thoughts and do something to get them out of your head, like burpees or something else. Just the more you do that, the less darkness is going to be appearing in your head on a regular basis.
Absolutely. And there's nothing you can do about that. I'll wake up in a good mood, but I'll start moving around and like I'll have these little negative thoughts that randomly come into my head, and I'm like, yo, whoa, chill the fuck out. Like, no, I flip it on myself right away. But that's knowing yourself. Once you get a line and you know yourself, you're like, no, 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 no.
Yeah, you
This ain't
aren't the
right. Like,
thoughts, right? Like those are just thoughts like that you're observing. So like you got to observe them and it's like just say like shut the fuck up, you liar. Like that's literally what I'll try to say. Like like shut the fuck up, you liar. Like it just just again like just lies, like negative lies that we tell ourselves, and everyone does it.
absolutely. So yeah, now that I've been sober, everything's been great, bro. My wife loves me. Our relationship's been better than ever. So at first, she started following my lead. She's lost 40 pounds.
Wow, that's amazing.
Bro, she's killed it. And I have slowly seen her transformation mentally. Like her mindset has completely shifted as well.
Yeah,
And
and
it's the
that
most
that's
amazing thing to see.
and that's like the thing, right? Like I've made a pretty good progress. Like not like you, like for me, I'm in amazing shape, but it's obvious like with the physical change, when when you're making these changes, hitting the gym and just kind of listening to your conscious, doing the right thing. But to me, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual change from all of this stuff is significantly greater than the physical change that you can see.
Absolutely. So that's what everybody thinks about. Oh, I want the abs. Like all my clients, that's what they'll tell me. They're like, bro, I can't wait to see the abs. I can't wait to, get ripped. And I tell them, shut the fuck up. Just chill out. Focus on yourself for the day and just win.
Yep.
Don't worry about the result. And Wes says it all the time. Fuck the result.
Yeah.
Just focus on making yourself better for the day and enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. And to me, like, that's something for me, like, I feel throughout the majority of my life, like, I would attach emotion to an end result, all the time, right? Like, it's like where if I'm not kind of getting what I want soon enough, it's like then I'm kind of feeling down or something like that. Like, where now, like, since I've really been on the program, like, yeah, I have goals, aspirations, wants, needs, all that shit. But there's no emotion tied to the outcome, like, whatsoever, because it's just about the work. And to me, as long as if you detach the emotion and you just keep putting in the work, like the end result is going to happen. Like it may not happen on your timeline, but it's like it's going to happen. But too often, because we tie emotion to the result and we don't get what we want quick enough, we quit and give up.
Or usually that's a negative emotion.
Yeah.
Like what I would attach it to, like say for example, fitness. I've never had these results, but because of the drink and the thought behind it, it was always lust. Like, man, I want to look good so I can have all these bitches looking at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, right? Because like I set a goal, right? Like when I started working with Wes to get a six pack, right? And everyone was like, "Oh, you're doing it because you're getting a divorce." And I'm like, no. I said, I'm doing it because I know for me, it will be hard as fuck for me to do this because I've never come close to having a fucking six pack before. And sure enough, like I'm pretty much like almost there. But it was just, it's just funny that you bring that up because, some people think it's just about like the look, but like, no, like I just knew how hard it would be. Like I would feel a sense of accomplishment for getting it because I would have to be super consistent and disciplined more so than I've ever been in my life for that to happen. And, sure enough, I just, again, I detached, like in my mind, I probably like I was going to have it sooner than it actually like happened, but I just, fuck it, put in the work.
That's it, bro. Your result, and you're looking good, bro. You're killing it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But yeah, my thought was always lust, bro. I was just doing it for the wrong reasons, It was never for my mental health or any of that shit. I just did it because I wanted the attention from other women,
Yeah.
And that mindset right there is just not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah. When you're especially when you're attaching like something like that to like something negative, then it's like leads nowhere. Like I kind of feel like that's kind of how I was even with like business to a certain extent, which I've had a lot of success in business, but I feel like it was limited because of my intentions with the business. It was always about money, like not to help people, like anything. Now, have I helped a lot of people as a byproduct of chasing money? 100%. But it was never, the intent wasn't the helping people. Like where now I obviously want to make a lot of money, but it's more intention, and the intention behind it is helping and, having a positive impact on people, not just the money.
Absolutely. So I used to, like you, I was in it for the money when I started my business. As I started changing myself, same. The values in my business started changing, right? So now I just want to build a good service, HVAC service here in my community, right? And grow it. And to be able to grow the people in my team as well, right? To kind of build that culture within them, those positive vibes, and then spread it in the community.
Hmm.
Obviously, we're in business to make a profit, but like, bro, within 3 years, we're at 234 5-star,
Oh,
right?
that's good shit.
Which for me, and like true reviews. Like a lot of companies will buy the reviews.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, nah, we earn that shit, right? So ever since I started running my business this way now, shit, in a month we made over 100,000.
Mm.
Actually, that happened in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah,
That's
to
been
me,
our best month.
yeah, and to me, like it's just about just shifting the intention behind what you're doing. Like to me, there's a direct correlation between you making a shift in your intentions and you making more money.
Absolutely. And all the right people started coming into my life without even looking for them.
Yeah,
Like, if a man is right, his world is right.
yeah, yeah.
And that shit is real, bro.
Yeah, yeah, no, because to me, I totally agree. Like to me, it's like for so long I knew,
Yeah.
I wanted. Yeah, yeah, I'm here. For so long, I've wanted like so much more, and I knew how to get it. Right, like it wasn't never a how problem, but I never really focused on changing the who that was going to attract all of those things. And like what you're saying is like you really have focused on just becoming the best version of you possible, and when you do that, you literally are going to attract everything that you ever want and need.
Bro, it's so crazy.
And it sounds like fucking like, hocus pocus type of shit, but it's like, I don't know. It's 100% fucking true.
People don't believe it because they're stuck in their ways. And everybody that I go to, that I meet, I share my story. And it's just like they look at me sideways, like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, bitch, what is wrong with you? Get your
like
shit straight.
you see this
mean?
It's like you see this transformation and how I'm looking and feeling, and I'm telling you what to do, and then I tell you what to do, and then it's crazy. So am I the crazy one or are you the crazy one?
Yeah. Bro, it's the craziest thing. So now that 100,000, I hardly touch anything, which is the best thing. Like, and now I'm slowly working my way out of the business to where I can run it instead of working in it.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's the main goal.
And focus on other things. So,
no, I'm happy and excited for you, man. I really am. All right.
But go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
So no, you do wholesale, right? Real estate.
Yeah, yeah. I've actually been like wholesaling. I mainly wholesaled residential real estate from like 2010 to like 2021, 2022.
Wow.
But about the last 18 months or so, I started focusing on wholesaling like industrial assets. So like warehouses, self-storage facilities. It's literally 70% the same. But instead of me making 10 or 20 grand for a house, I can make $100,000 or $200,000 for a larger asset.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I heard of like commercial, but never industrial wholesaling.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really know too many people across the country that are doing it. But yeah, no, I'm having success and shit. Like, I really like this was in essence probably like my first like full-time year like doing it, like because I kind of got involved in it like last year, and I've been through so much shit, personal shit in the last 2 years. So it's like I feel like right now I'm actually like at a good point where I'm going to start focusing a lot more of my effort on it. So like no, I'm super excited about it.
Hell yeah, bro. So I did one wholesale real estate deal.
Nice, nice. In Miami?
And here in the city that I'm in, Lakeland.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm in between Tampa and Orlando.
My mentor, like, I
And,
think he used to live near like Lakeland or something.
Oh, really? So I would watch wholesaling videos. Max Maxwell.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd watch him, and I did a lot of research, right? And you have that analysis paralysis shit,
Yep. Fear of the
and
unknown.
it took me forever. Just like with the program with Wes, right? You're skeptical, and you're just scared. So I found this when I was in the fire service. We were on a call, and the house was like completely just tore apart, and the people that owned it had passed away. And I saw opportunity, right? So I did a little bit of research, found the next of kin, went and knocked on his door, and we started chatting, bro. And it was sketch as fuck. It was out in the middle of nowhere, down a dirt road. It looked like shit out of The Hills Have Eyes.
So you were about to get murdered or something.
Absolutely. And so I turned my truck around. I was like, man, fuck this. I can't do this. And I talked to myself at that moment. I said, quit being a little bitch.
That bitch
You're
in the
way
beast.
the fuck out here. That's it. And I said, turn the fuck around. Go knock on the door. And if you die, you die. So I knocked on the door, bro. There's dogs, all this shit, fucking barking. The shirtless dude comes out in pajama pants. He's like, yeah, who the fuck is it? I was like, hey, sir, I found your sister in the home. Just wanted to say I'm sorry for your loss, blah, blah, blah. And, bro, I was there for like 3 hours. Super nice guy. We were chopping it up. And he had already been hit up at home. And he's like, look, man, I like you. I'm going to call you first once I figure out what I'm doing. And it took about 6 months. I had followed up with him a couple of times. And in 6 months, he calls me and he's like, hey, man, I'm ready. So we got a 3-2 for like 40 grand. It sold for 190.
You got it for how much?
After it flipped. 40.
And you had to put money into it?
So I lost money. I guess I didn't lose money because I guess it was more of a learning fee, right? I involved somebody else and I only made 3 grand.
Yeah,
there was like
somebody. This is a great saying. With sometimes you earn and sometimes you learn. So you must have just learned in this situation.
Absolutely, and it was my first deal.
Yeah.
So I said, "Fuck it, ride with it. It is what it is. Charge it to the game."
Yeah, something like that, like too, because like if you were saying it was like a burnout house, like that's like an extensive rehab that like somebody that's newer probably doesn't want to get involved in. Like if you would have actually just actually wholesaled it, like got it under contract for 45, you could have probably flipped the contract for $10,000 or $20,000 more.
Yeah, that's what I thought, about 20K.
Yeah, but like you said, you live and you learn.
That's it.
All right, so we're going to start getting to the final 4 questions. So question number 1, what book, movie, or experience fundamentally changed your perspective on life and why?
Bro, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah, it's funny. So many people have said that.
Absolutely. So it just opened my perspective on everything. Like I had no idea about real estate, stock investments, any of that shit, running a business, right? I was just so closed-minded because I grew up in the hood and that's all I knew, right? I knew how to work hard, bust my ass. That was it. Whenever I read that book, my perspective on anything just shifted. I started doing my research, started improving my financial literacy. Like everything was just shifted. Right?
Yeah, that's a game changer, I feel like, for like a lot of like entrepreneurs.
Yeah. And then I got to The Millionaire Next Door, The 4-Hour Work Week, fucking How to Win Friends and Influence People, all that shit. Like all those books are life-changing.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. Question number 2. How do you define success?
So being happy in your own skin, bro.
That's a good
Most
answer.
people, I don't care how much money you have or where you're at in life. If you're not happy with yourself, you're fucking miserable. Everybody around you is miserable. But if you find yourself and you're just happy with yourself and everything in your life, all that is going to be around you. So happiness everywhere. So your friends, your family, your business, you're just going to spread that joy. And that's fucking success right there for me.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer, and I couldn't agree more. Question number 3. if you could have a conversation with any historical figure, who would it be, and what would you ask them?
So Alexander the Great.
So that's a first.
I'd like to know what drove him to be such a great leader, right? And what his morning rituals were. Because that morning routine, bro, is key.
No, 100%. Yeah, and that's a good one. Yeah, because he, he was a great leader and conquered quite a bit. So that would be an interesting conversation. All right, and last but not least, what was question number 4? What was a time you had self-limiting beliefs, and what did you do to overcome them?
Bro, those limiting beliefs are always going to be there. You know, a lot less now because I know how to handle those beliefs. But it's hard to answer that question right now because, again, they're always there. But I go back to my daily principles and non-negotiable habits. And I just switch my beliefs in that moment. I catch myself and tell myself no. And I tell, fuck you, motherfucker. We're going to make today a great day. No matter what. So we're going to hit those burpees, change his mindset, and we're going to fucking win.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like it's never about like eliminating self-limiting beliefs. Like that's in my opinion impossible. It's just catching them and just like not letting them control you, and just acknowledging them for what they are, which is just thoughts in our head that we don't need to believe.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I greatly appreciate you hopping on today. I feel like you was an amazing story you shared, and I'm really looking forward to see you continue to grow and where you go in the next couple of years. If the audience wants to reach out to you, just like let them know where they can reach you at, and what you'd be able to help them with.
So they can reach me on Instagram at Mario D Fit, and we can change your life, man. Like I can show you everything that I've learned. I can show you the blueprint. So lives are already being changed, right? This is a movement. We're spreading the positivity, and it's all through your daily habits. I can teach you these habits that will change your life like they changed mine.
Yeah, no, and he's a great follow. So definitely, hit him up, follow him. And, again, greatly appreciate you hopping on. Great story. Sure the audience got a ton out of it. And please, everyone, comment, like, subscribe, and share. And if you have any questions, you can certainly put them in the comments section of the video. And that wraps up episode 12. Thanks, and see you guys next week.
Thank you, bro.
All right, cool. I appreciate that, Mario. Like, definitely a great story that you shared, my man.